My name's Kelly Baughman. I'm the executive director and co-founder of Project Beacon, Texas. We are working to build an intentional residential community for adults with autism and other neurodiversities. We also want to be able to offer vocational, social, and educational programs for those adults.
My name's Kevin Gerrity. I'm, along with Kelly, co-founder of Project Beacon and currently the president of Project Beacon. We're a relatively new nonprofit, and we had our first one, Havana Nights, without a professional auctioneer. We had our second one with a professional auctioneer, Lewis, and then we went with Lewis again for our third one here, Nashville Nights. And every year we've increased our revenue, so it's been on a nice trajectory. For me, our first auction, we had some volunteers do it. And we kind of had the thought of, well, cost control, and we had some guys that had some commercial background and were used to selling in general, that we thought, well, maybe we could use these guys for the auction, the live auction part of our event. But when you have a professional, I think you could clearly see the difference. And one of the things I think Lewis brings is the cadence and the approach and the rhythm. Like, how do you start and how do you keep it moving? You want it to be 3 minutes item. There's a lot of, I don't want to say science, but there's a lot of experience. There's a lot of technique that goes into it. And our guys were not, experienced that area. And you could really see the difference in the live auction results between the two. The other thing that I particularly thought was good was working with Lewis twice. He knew our story the second year. It was a much smoother, part there. We didn't have to bring him up to speed on what we were about, what we were trying to do.
Where Lewis was concerned, the first year that we had him, which was our second gala, it wasn't just the auction portion of our event that he added value to. It was from start to finish, in terms of the run of show, how long it would take, his MC capabilities, the professionalism of what he brought to the table. He was the right guy in the room for us for that event.
He was very collaborative. He's a collaborative guy. So we had four different artists up there performing. We had our speaking parts, we had Lewis's piece, and we kind of improvised on the fly auction item. And Lewis it wasn't in the script, it wasn't anything that we had planned for, and he just rolled with it. And it was like a $5,000 item, like out of the blue. And so he did a great job getting to know the artists ahead of time, kind of weaving their story in with his story. So the collaboration and the flexibility, I think, to pull all that together with the high energy was outstanding.
I think the other piece too is the call to action piece and knowing the right tone and the seriousness of what it is that we're trying to do, but still being able to motivate and compel an audience to get involved. When he was surprised, he let the surprise be a good thing, and he used it and motivated other givers who in the audience who I'm not sure had planned to do what they did during that call to action portion of the event. So it was pretty incredible. I think we were all left with a little bit of the jaw drop kind of moment. Lewis takes the time to take a look at what do you have from a run of show, what do you have from your auction items, gives very thoughtful advice around the order of those items, and is, I think very forthright and being able to tell you where he thinks an auction item ought to go. Should it be in a live auction? Should it be in a silent auction? And again, that is strictly based on what you have and his experience and knowing what can sell and how is your audience going to see this event just as a whole and how you're engaging them in different ways. And that's the other thing I will say too, is that because you do all of the pre-event planning with him, it's not lost on him what else is happening in the room. He has a really good handle on that. And, again, from an MC perspective, he's able to keep generating the audience into staying engaged with whatever else you have going on in the room, whether it's merchandise sales or silent auction items, whatever it is that you have going on.
His experience of doing all these auctions, he's got, his real world experience about what sells, what doesn't sell, what can be repeat sales. And so to Kelly's point, he's very candid about, how many of these things, how many of these items, shouldn't be more than 12, we don't want to go more than 36 minutes. He'll tell you all that stuff, and getting it in line with his guidance, I think makes it more high impact for sure. The right stuff, the right time spent on it, it works. No doubt it works. Lewis is great about how to maximize the dollars from the items in the live auction. He's also good at giving the guidance of what things you'd like in that auction slate. But the professionals on the team were very helpful that way. So I think there's a balance between how much you want to spend on the professional advice and what you're trying to achieve from your event. But I think we found that we got a lot of value when you assemble the right team with the right expertise, especially when you're starting, because our core group is small. We greatly pretty exceeded our goals by significant margin. Lewis was a big part of that. I could tell you when he did the call to action and in his feel to start at a $50,000 number, we're thinking there's no way it was going to, maybe start at 50 and you get a 20, and having a guy jump on the 50 of a person jump on the 50,000, it was like huge. It just triggered, a whole second wave of giving, as Kelly said, probably more than people wanted to do, but like, hey, I'm in.
The software and all of the spotters and the other services that Murad offers are absolutely of high value. And it's always a little bit of a game in terms of how you manage all of that from a budget perspective, but know that there will be a return on investment. No matter how you go, you will have a return on investment to having the professional in the room with you.
We offer a free consultation to discuss your event and help engineer your most successful event ever. So contact us at muradauctions.com to discuss how to take your fundraising event to the next level.